All right, so get this, everybody. Today, we're diving deep into getting a Master of Science degree in Singapore.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, and you sent over a really interesting mix of guides and expert opinions on this.
Right.
So we're going to break it all down.
Let's do.
I'm already picturing myself at these amazing campuses, eating the incredible
The
food.
food scene in Singapore is really something else.
It's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Singapore, it's known for a lot of things, but it's becoming a real hub for higher education.
It really is. It's a fascinating choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of has it all. These world-class universities, a super vibrant multicultural scene,
Uh-huh.
and strategically, it's right in the heart of Asia.
Yeah, that's huge. So let's get this straight. Why would someone choose Singapore, over these typical destinations like Europe or the US?
Well, one of the biggest draws, I think, is how closely the universities work with industry giants.
Oh, interesting.
Especially in these fields that are just booming right now, finance, tech, biotech.
Yeah.
So it's not just theoretical knowledge you're gaining, you're also building a pathway to an exciting career.
The built-in launch pad.
Exactly.
Love it. Now, I know we got to talk about the big three universities.
Right.
National University of Singapore, NUS.
Yep.
Nanyang Technological University, NTU.
Uh-huh.
And Singapore Management University, SMU.
That's right.
Okay, and just to throw this out there, the fact that NUS consistently ranks among the top 15 universities globally, that's insane.
It's true. NUS is incredibly prestigious, but what I find even more interesting is that each of these universities has such a distinct personality.
I like that.
So NUS, they boast this truly vast program selection. NTU is a research powerhouse, really attracting some of the brightest minds.
Yeah.
And then SMU is all about that practical business experience. They want to shape future leaders.
Okay, so you got options depending on whether you're a research enthusiast or a hands-on learner.
Absolutely.
Love it. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What does it actually take to get accepted into one of these top-tier programs?
Well, you definitely need to showcase a solid academic foundation.
Okay.
So think a good bachelor's degree, a GPA hovering around a 3.0 or the equivalent,
Got it.
and of course, proof of your English language proficiency.
Right.
IELTS or TOEFL are the typical tests there.
Makes sense.
Now, some programs, particularly in the business field, they might require GMAT or GRE scores.
Oh,
So you've got to check the specifics for your program.
so it's not one size fits all.
Definitely not.
Okay, that's good to know. But I imagine it's more to it than just grades.
Yeah.
The sources mentioned letters of recommendation and a strong statement of purpose. Are those as make or break, as everyone says?
Absolutely. These elements, they provide a glimpse into who you are beyond the numbers.
Uh-huh.
So your statement of purpose, that's your chance to really tell your story, highlight your passions, and explain why this specific program in Singapore is the perfect next step.
Yeah. And then strong recommendations from professors or mentors, they add weight to your application, showcasing your potential.
Yeah, they're kind of vouching for you, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so it's about painting a complete picture of yourself. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Singapore is known for its high cost of living. So how much of a financial investment are we really talking about for an MS degree?
It's true. Studying in Singapore, it can be a significant financial commitment.
Yeah.
So tuition fees can range anywhere from 20,000 to 50,000 Singapore dollars per year.
Okay.
And on top of that, you got to factor in living expenses,
Right.
which could add another 10 to 15,000 annually.
Wow, that is a pretty hefty price tag.
Yeah.
But I am seeing mentions of scholarships in the materials you sent. Are those a realistic option for most students?
Oh, absolutely. Singapore is very supportive of international students.
Okay.
They offer some really competitive scholarship programs, like the Singapore International Graduate Award, often called SINGA, and the ASEAN Graduate Scholarship.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of universities have their own grant programs.
So there are ways to lighten that financial burden.
For sure.
Okay, that's really good to know. But let's say you've gotten your degree, you've fallen in love with Singapore. What are the odds of actually staying and working there after graduation?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's a big part of the appeal for a lot of people considering this. You're absolutely right. And there's good news. Singapore offers a long-term visit pass specifically for international graduates.
Oh, wow.
This lets you stay in Singapore for up to a year and look for employment.
A whole year.
A whole year.
That's really generous. Are there certain fields that have, better prospects than others?
Yeah, I mean, Data science, finance, and engineering, those are all booming industries in Singapore. So those with an MS in those fields, they tend to have excellent job prospects. Okay, so we've got prestigious universities, strong job prospects, even a path to potentially stay and build a life there. But let's be honest, no experience is without its challenges.
Mm.
What do the sources say about hurdles someone might encounter on their MS journey in Singapore?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is just the intensity of the application process itself.
Yeah.
It's not just meeting the minimum requirements.
Right.
You are competing with a pool of incredibly talented applicants.
Oh, yeah, from around the world.
Around the world, exactly.
So how do you stand out? It sounds pretty daunting.
I think that's where those personal touches we talked about come in. Your statement of purpose, your letters of recommendation.
Yeah.
They need to capture your unique story, your ambitions.
Makes sense.
And then, of course, there's the visa application process.
Oh, right.
Which can be a bit of a nail-biter. There's always a chance of delays.
Yeah.
So starting early is key.
Right. I imagine those student visas are pretty strict.
They are, yeah. I'd say applying at least 2 months before your course starts is a good rule of thumb.
Okay.
Gives you a little breathing room.
Yeah.
And then there's the age-old dilemma of choosing the right university and program.
Oh, well, bet.
Singapore has so many fantastic options.
Right.
It can feel overwhelming.
It's like standing in front of an endless dessert buffet.
Exactly.
Where do you even begin?
Right. So that's where some soul-searching comes in.
Yeah.
What are your priorities? Are you drawn to a research-heavy environment like NTU? Or are you more interested in a program with a stellar reputation for industry connections, like those offered by SMU?
Right.
So it's not just about rankings.
Right. Yeah, find the right fit.
It's about finding the place where you'll thrive.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
And of course, those dreaded SOPs and LORs.
Oh, yes.
Writing about yourself in a way that's both compelling and authentic
It's tough.
can be a real challenge.
Yeah, some people find it helpful to seek guidance, from experienced education consultants. They can help you tailor your application materials to highlight your strengths.
Right.
Think of it like having a personal coach in your corner.
So it's not just about what you've accomplished, but how you present yourself.
Absolutely.
Got it. And then there's the question that looms large for many, what happens after graduation?
Right.
Understanding the intricacies of staying in Singapore to work can feel like navigating a maze.
It can, yeah, with all the different visa categories and eligibility criteria.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It is, it is. But thankfully, the sources we're diving into, they offer some really practical tips for overcoming these hurdles.
Okay, good.
So the biggest takeaway, I would say, is thorough research is your best friend.
Yeah.
Don't just skim the surface.
Right.
Dig deep. Look beyond university rankings, explore program curriculums, faculty profiles, even alumni networks.
So it's about finding the right fit, not just chasing a name.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay. And when it comes to visas, don't procrastinate.
Oh, no, the earlier you apply, the better.
Okay, so proactive planning is essential.
Absolutely.
Got it. What about those SOPs and LORs? Any advice for someone who might be feeling overwhelmed?
Don't hesitate to reach out to those education consultants.
Okay.
The ones we talked about. They've helped countless students craft really compelling narratives.
Right.
It's an investment that can pay off big time.
So a little expert guidance can go a long way.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And what about navigating the post-study work landscape? Are there resources that can help with that?
Absolutely. Familiarizing yourself with Singapore's long-term visit pass,
Okay.
or LTVP as it's often called, is essential.
Right.
It's specifically designed to give international graduates the opportunity to seek employment.
Okay, so that's a clear pathway to potentially staying in Singapore.
Exactly.
After you finished your degree, that's super helpful.
Yep.
Now, I noticed our stack of sources includes a list of 13 tips for success.
Right.
That's a lot to cover, but are there any that really jump out at you as essential must-knows?
Definitely. Let's start with the very first tip.
Okay.
Research, research, research.
Right.
We touched on this already.
Yeah.
But it cannot be overstated,
Yeah.
Don't just jump at the first shiny program you see.
Right.
Take your time, explore different universities, compare curriculums, and even look into faculty expertise.
Okay.
Consider factors like campus culture, location,
Yeah.
Are you a city person, or do you crave a more tranquil setting?
It's almost like dating.
It is. It is. You're looking for a perfect match.
You're looking for the perfect match. Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
So what's next on the list?
The second tip goes hand in hand with the first. Choose the right course.
Okay.
It seems obvious, but it's easy to get swept away by rankings
Oh, yeah.
or program popularity. Take a step back and think about your long-term career goals.
Okay.
What skills are you hoping to develop? What industries truly excite you?
So it's about aligning your passion with your academic pursuits. I like that.
Exactly.
What's next on the list?
The third tip is a practical one. Check the eligibility criteria.
Okay.
It sounds simple, but you'd be surprised how many people waste time applying to programs where they don't meet the basic requirements.
Ouch. That's got to be a frustrating experience.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Each university has its own set of standards.
Right.
So it's crucial to do your homework before you even start filling out applications.
Got it. So tip number 4.
Tip number 4 is all about those standardized tests. So if your chosen program requires the GRE or GMAT,
Right.
start preparing early.
Okay. I've heard those tests can be pretty intense.
They can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Consider taking prep courses or find a study buddy.
Okay.
Makes the process a little less daunting.
Tip number 5.
Tip number 5 is a game changer. Apply for scholarships.
Yes.
We talked about the financial commitment involved, but
Mhm.
remember, there's a lot of support available.
Right.
Don't miss out on potential funding. Research those scholarships diligently. Meet the deadlines, and craft compelling applications.
Okay. So be strategic and persistent.
Exactly.
What about managing the timeline?
That brings us to tip number 6. Begin your application process early.
Okay.
Deadlines have a sneaky way of creeping up on you,
Oh, yeah, they do.
and you don't want to be rushing through such an important process.
Right.
Give yourself ample time to gather your documents,
Yeah.
write those killer SOPs and lores, and submit everything flawlessly.
Oh, no last-minute scramble.
Oh, last-minute scramble.
Got it. Okay. What about the practicalities of living in Singapore?
Tip number 7 is all about budgeting.
Okay.
Singapore can be expensive,
Right.
so it's essential to have a financial plan.
Yeah.
Consider tuition fees, of course,
Right.
but also factor in living expenses, travel costs, even entertainment.
Right.
Those delicious hawker center meals.
Gotta have those hawker meals.
You gotta have them.
Okay.
So it's about having a realistic picture of what it'll cost to live and study there.
It's about having a realistic picture. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
What's next?
Tip number 8 is a big one. As soon as you get that acceptance letter,
Okay.
apply for your student visa.
Got it.
Don't wait.
Yeah.
Processing times can vary.
Right.
And the last thing you want is a visa delay preventing you from starting your program on time.
So get that application in ASAP.
ASA, exactly.
Makes sense. Okay. What about finding a place to live?
Tip number 9 encourages you to explore accommodation options carefully.
Okay.
Do you picture yourself in the heart of campus life,
Yeah.
enjoying the convenience of on-campus housing?
Uh-huh.
Or do you crave the independence of off-campus living?
Right.
Research different options.
Okay.
Consider your budget, your lifestyle preferences,
Yeah.
and book your accommodation well in advance to avoid any last-minute stress.
Okay. So have a vision for your ideal living situation.
Exactly.
All right. What's tip number 10?
Tip number 10 is all about building connections.
Okay.
Join alumni networks, online communities, related to your chosen university or program. It's an amazing way to get insights from current and former students, pick up tips
Oh, that's smart.
on navigating student life, and even connect with potential roommates or study buddies.
It's like tapping into a ready-made support system. Love that idea.
It is.
What else is on the list?
Tip number 11 is for those looking to ease the financial burden. Consider part-time job opportunities.
Yeah?
Singapore allows international students to work part-time up to 16 hours per week while they study.
So you can earn some extra income and gain work experience at the same time. That's a win-win.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
I like it. Okay. Tip number 12.
Tip number 12 encourages you to embrace Singapore's vibrant multicultural environment.
I mean, Singapore is such a melting pot of cultures.
It really is.
Yeah.
Take the time to learn about local customs and traditions, try new foods, explore different neighborhoods, maybe even pick up a few phrases in another language.
That'd be fun.
It would. Singapore's diversity is one of its greatest strengths, and immersing yourself in it will just enrich your whole experience.
So it's about soaking up all that Singapore has to offer.
Absolutely.
And what's the final tip?
The 13th tip is all about focusing on career opportunities from day one.
Okay.
It's never too early to start thinking about your post-MS goals.
Right.
Attend career fairs, network with industry professionals, and even consider doing internships.
Got it. So hit the ground running.
Exactly. Singapore is a global hub for so many industries.
Yeah.
It's a great place to start building your professional profile early on.
Okay, so these 13 tips are seriously comprehensive.
They are.
It's like a roadmap to success for anyone dreaming of pursuing an MS in Singapore.
I think they offer practical guidance, valuable insights, and a dose of encouragement to help navigate this exciting yet sometimes challenging journey.
It's clear that preparation and planning are key.
For sure.
But let's step back for a second and talk about what this all means for someone listening to this right now, who's seriously considering this path. So what would you say to someone who's out there listening to this, weighing their options and wondering if Singapore is the right fit for them?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I'd say that if you are looking for a truly world-class education, a vibrant multicultural experience, and a potential springboard into a global career, Singapore deserves a serious look.
It does.
It's a place where innovation thrives, opportunities are abundant, and an MS degree from one of its prestigious universities, it can really open doors.
Yeah.
Doors you might not have even imagined.
You love that. It sounds like an incredible adventure, both personally and professionally.
It really is, but it's not just about reaching the destination, you know? It's
Right.
about embracing the journey,
The journey, yeah.
taking on challenges, seeking support when you need it, and making the most of every experience.
Yeah, because ultimately in MS in Singapore, it's about so much more than just adding a line to your resume.
100%. It's about pushing your boundaries, expanding your horizons, and ultimately transforming yourself.
Transforming yourself. I love that. Now, there's one thing that keeps popping up in the materials you shared
Okay.
that I think is really, really interesting, and that's that Singapore's government seems to be super invested in fostering innovation and entrepreneurship.
Oh, absolutely they are. And that brings us to something that wasn't explicitly spelled out in these sources,
Good.
but is definitely worth considering. So while landing a fantastic job after graduation is a common goal, Singapore also provides really fertile ground for those who dream of starting their own ventures.
That's huge. So it's not just about climbing the corporate ladder. It's about potentially creating something entirely new.
Exactly, precisely.
Wow.
Imagine this. You could not only gain valuable skills and experience during your MS program, but you could also use that time to connect with like-minded people,
Yeah.
explore business ideas, and even take advantage of Singapore's incredible startup ecosystem.
It's like a built-in incubator for turning those entrepreneurial dreams into reality.
Exactly, exactly. And MS in Singapore could be the first step toward building your own company, creating something truly innovative, and making a lasting impact.
The possibilities are endless.
Truly, truly endless.
Well, there you have it, everyone. A deep dive into the exciting and sometimes overwhelming world of pursuing an MS degree in Singapore. We hope this has given you a clearer picture of what to expect, the opportunities that await, and the steps you can take to make this dream a reality.
And if you're left with any questions at all, or if you just want to delve deeper into specific aspects of this journey, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're always happy to share more insights and resources.
We're cheering you on. Best of luck as you embark on this incredible adventure.